Should the government of the United States determine the value of my piece of farm ground right here in Indiana and every other piece of farmland in the United States of America, then set varying levels of values depending on who the buyer is? What am I talking about? Well, I've been seeing things online lately with all the ag policy discussions, the fact that commodity prices are low and land prices are still high, folks lamenting the fact that young people can't get into agriculture and make a living. Well, we've been hearing this for a very, very long time. You know, I was a young person in the 1990s, and it didn't make sense for me economically to get into farming because I had no backing, no inheritance, and the farm economy was in the crapper. So this is not a new story. What is new is this call for government action to say, you know what we ought to do? Set up a government program where this farm ground can only be farm ground, can't be sold for development. That's boosting the price of the market prices. You know, this is mine. And if I can sell this for its highest and best use to somebody come in here and build houses, I want to be able to do that. And I don't necessarily need you determining what my assets are worth based on your beliefs. Number two, when you talk about we should have a starting farmer program, we already have them. You can go to the U.S. Department of Agriculture and get beginning farmer loans for a fraction of what actual percentages are. You know, it's not probably enough to necessarily make it whole or make somebody new to the industry hugely profitable, but it's also something unique to agriculture. Trust me, I want to go as a 22-year-old and buy 3 McDonald's franchises with 0 down payment and pay 2% interest. You can't do it, but you can for farm assets. The other part of this that concerns me is when I hear people saying they ought to set a price, some sort of a federal land bank arrangement, to where then young people can buy farm ground for less than the market price. Well, who's going to make up that shortfall? Am I supposed to do that because of your feelings? I've got to take my $12,000 an acre farm ground and sell it for 6 or 4? Half or 1/3 of what it's worth just because you think that I'm supposed to foster the next generation? Not being mean, but you're really distorting a lot of economics here, and you're putting the burden on somebody just so that a young person get into a business. Young people can't get into a lot of business. You're young and you have no capital. Can you get into the manufacturing of asphalt shingles? You know, get in the business of creating 2x4s and compete against Weyerhaeuser and Georgia Pacific? Not likely. But at the end of the day, we are in a commodity production business. Margins are tight. Business is a struggle. I'm pro-agriculture, but be careful what some of you are wishing for, because a distortion that great of the economic picture that you are calling for is not going to be good long-term for any of us that work in this industry. I'm Damian Mason. I speak on stages all over North America and right here online about the world's most important industry, the business of agriculture. Thanks for tuning in.